Hi, and welcome to Clairvoyant Conversations. I'm SOLRETA Antaria and I'm losing my voice. I've just had the most amazing weekend away in Byron Bay and Northern Rivers, hanging out with some of my beautiful best friends. So excuse my croaky voice tonight. I've been having an amazing time being away at Byron Bay, but back home in lockdown Melbourne. Not that we're really in lockdown anymore, but you guys know what I mean. So what we're going to be doing is we'll start off with a weekly reading. I also do want to mention, because we are getting so close to it as well, that we're getting close to December 21st. So 2 past 9 p.m. In Northern Territory time, we will have a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, as well as the beautiful prophecy time that the original people have been mentioning, which will be taking place at Uluru. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that will be focusing their energy from around the world too. So I've been up visiting Stephen and Evan Strong, who have so much information about Uluru and the prophecy. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we will do a weekly reading looking into the week ahead. I don't know if you guys can see my little table here. So let's look into the week ahead. If you want to ask questions, please jump on over to Spiritual Events Directory over on Facebook, but I will do the weekly read for both Instagram and Facebook. So let's have a look into what's happening the week ahead, and we might just do a quick little smudging as well. Just got some Palo Santo here. So just sending this out to everyone. Now remembering to meditate and cleanse leading up to the Uluru time and even after as well is good practice. So hello to everyone joining us on Facebook and Instagram. We will be doing individual questions over on Spiritual Events Directory. So let's have a look at the week ahead. All right, so this is interesting energies coming in that I'm feeling to do with this. Oh, and someone is trying to call me. Okay. So what I'll do is we'll start with these 3 cards first. Okay. So for those that haven't caught my videos before, the way that I read is using psychometry as well as clairvoyant vision. Someone's asking if they can inbox me something over on Insta. Yes, you may. Let's have a look into what we're getting. All right, so the image that I'm seeing at the moment, and this is going into next week, I am seeing the sun, but I'm actually being shown the sun with what I would say is the word characteristics and personality. So I'm not seeing it as just like a mere object in the sky. I'm seeing it as a form of consciousness. And what I'm seeing is there's some kind of alignment or some kind of, whether it's a conjunction or something like that, the energy of the sun is influencing a spiritual transformation that we're moving through. So this is kind of like what I'm seeing is cycles and time. So on December 21st, we will have Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, as well as in the sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius is kind of like the bringer of the new age. It's like, bringing about new ideas. It's kind of like more of an air, like a water-based one as well. What else? So Saturn is sort of like restrictions and kind of like following rules. It's sort of like society and different things. Whereas Jupiter is more like expansion. So it's almost like we've got this restriction, expansion dynamic going on. But it will be like an ushering in of the new age. So I know that I'm getting ahead of us for this week ahead, but this is the energy we're starting to move and cycle towards. So I just want everyone to know what we're kind of like heading in towards. So let's see what else we have. All right, so sort of like midweek, I am seeing something where it's learning more information, but it's learning more information about yourself and about how you operate. It's sort of like how you interact with the world is the energies that I'm feeling coming up midweek. The other energy that I am seeing is what I would call sort of like they're showing me the image of kind of like a joker or a fool. So it's almost like looking at what we've learned so far in life, but kind of like, hey, Giorgio over in Italy, sending you lots of love. So what I'm seeing is sort of like approaching the world midweek as though we are almost like the Fool card in tarot. So what I mean by that is there's kind of like this wide-eyed wonderment and wisdom, and we have the little dog that's kind of keeping us safe on the path, which is almost like that subconscious mind. So really listening to your subconscious thoughts at the moment to keep you in alignment with keeping yourself safe. So listening to that inner little voice, what is it that that inner voice is talking about? So we're having that midweek. Hey Jack, good to see you over here. For those that are just joining, I am losing my voice from having such an amazing fun time away up in the Byron Bay area in New South Wales. The other thing that I am seeing, so I am seeing this Saturn energy come in towards the end of the week, and I'm hearing them say the word destabilization. The other thing that I did foresee when we're going back to the pre-elections was that the election would be up in the air and that it wouldn't be decided. The dates that I did get around something political happening were around 13th, 5th to 15th. So whether we will have some more things come about next week, I do sort of see that Saturn energy creating something off kilter. So we might have some of this too. So let's flip these cards. Oh, this is interesting. So we do have the sun's energy in here. I know that I did say that I saw sun's energy. So the first thing that we have is this card, defeat, which is like a 5 of wands. So sometimes this is really funny because we talked about that Saturn and Jupiter energy. So in this, and we also talked about Aquarius, so we are going into that alignment. In this card in particular, it's almost like the spiritual dimension overriding the physical, which is the energies that we're moving into with the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction coming up, or alignment, sorry, coming up to do with December 21st. So this energy is interesting because there will be kind of like a rewriting of how things are working and how they're operating. Things will be changing sort of going forth from the end of December. The other thing that we have here is kind of, it's wanting to push back or wanting to kind of like separate ourselves from any chaotic energies that are happening is what I'm seeing come up in this card. So it's almost like about instability, but in that instability, it's causing kind of like a expansion. Hi, Giorgio. Yeah, so interesting. Be really kind to yourself. Give yourself lots of Venus energy at the moment. Give yourself lots of love. Because that's going to help kind of like ride this tide. But we see a spiritual domination over kind of like the material. So really stepping into that higher positive energy. The other thing that we have is that we are going through like a bit of a rhythm and cycle. This is what I was seeing kind of midweek when we were talking about like self-discovery and talking about learning more about yourself. We have this beautiful, almost like a womb or yoni kind of like energy between these two Anubis characters or these two towers, and there's a scarab beetle birthing this sun energy. So this is the card of the moon. To me, this also speaks of past life things coming up. So I feel that this is, I just got goosebumps all down the back of my head and neck. So this to me speaks of what we have gone through, not just in this lifetime, but in other lifetimes, is or has prepared us for this moment in time. So please, leading up to December 21st, meditate as much as you can. Feel your heart energy connect out to your tribe. We're like these beautiful beacons of light that are going across the planet at the moment. And we're birthing this transformation. We're birthing this dark night of the soul, because remembering the moon is kind of like about this inner transformation. The other thing that we have with this card too is this relates to in the Hebrew alphabet what we call Aleph. So it's kind of like that spiritual paradigm with that physical paradigm, and there's a line or like a bardo that separates the two. So this is kind of like the two worlds coming together, which is really exciting, that we see the scarab giving life to this. With Anubis in here as well, I know that in translated into kind of like Egyptian side of things, Anubis represents the god of the underworld. To me, he has always represented the god of the other worlds. He's the one that holds the keys to other dimensions. So this is about interdimensional travel. For me, this is about like galactic connections and kind of like that galactic neighborhood energy. The other thing that we have come the end of the week is the card of peace. So this is like meeting in the space of the heart. It's the Two of Swords. So this is kind of like about like balance and duality, but it's kind of duality coming into a crossroads. So in sacred geometry, we have the law of opposites, which is a straight line. you can only travel in opposite directions for so long before it has to come to a point. Hello to those just joining. And what I mean by this is it's kind of like a law in sacred geometry that you can only go in opposite directions too far before you're forced to kind of come together and have, whether it's a meeting of the minds or a meeting of heart. This is about balance to me. This is Libra energy as well, and Libra is also ruled by Venus, so it's telling us to go into the space of the heart. With swords as well, this is kind of like about, sometimes it can be about like intellect and making a plan. This is kind of like higher learning or higher mind coming together with heart for me with this yellow and green. So I hope that this helps. I'm just going to see if there's any clarifying cards that we need to look at for the rest of the week. Also, for those that are just joining us either on Instagram or Facebook, I do have a discount code for my 1 hour readings that will go until Christmas Eve. So that is the code word alchemy. I only have a couple of spots left, maybe more. I know for the next couple of weeks I'm booked up for December, but if you want to use the alchemy code, it will get you $10 off a reading. So let's just look at these clarifying cards and we'll pick a guiding for one more. So these ones I always just flip. We'll put these other ones back in. Oh, also you can see I've got some beautiful candles here. For these candles, these are magical candles that have been charged. So I've got a beautiful Aphrodite one. There's one crown of success, one prosperity. These are from the I think I'm saying it right, Fame shop in Linda, which is a beautiful, beautiful magic shop run by beautiful, magic, gorgeous souls. So I've been going up there lately. So let's flip these cards. So we have, oh, this is interesting. So these are kind of like clarifying cards to give us like a little bit more information. So this is really about us sort of like stripping things back. On a spiritual level, it's kind of like looking at who we are. Who do we sort of like perceive ourselves to be? Is the energy that I get with this. Even though there's sort of like a journey and things, he's not kind of focused on the journey. He's like looking at this wand. So wands are kind of like spiritual cards. Sometimes they represent actions. I'm getting drawn by spirit to the feather in the hat on this. And Spirit's just saying over and over, oh, we have a feather in the hat. We have a feather in the hat and we're going on a journey. So that's kind of like the energy that I'm getting going into the week with those other cards that we mentioned. For anyone that's just joining us now, I do have the reading for the week. We've just done. We also have the Hierophant, which is kind of like a priest type energy. You can see he's sitting between two pillars. To me, this speaks kind of like of the tree of life, and this is the middle path. So it's not light nor dark. It's kind of like that middle pathway, that magic between worlds. The other thing that I also sometimes will see is this will sometimes present to me as kind of like an ultimate magician. So this is kind of like about surpassing earthly magic. The other one that we have is the Knight of Pentacles. This one speaks to me of kind of like learning our lessons here on Earth. And I'm seeing sort of like a cycle of completion. So if we're thinking about Earth and Earth School, and we're thinking about the end of the Mayan calendar and prophecy and things like that, this is really kind of like looking at what have we learned in Earth School so far to date. So that's what I'm seeing for the coming week. And we will pick just before we finish on Instagram and we stay on Spiritual Events Directory. This is what our guides want us to focus on for the week, is the card of love. And as we can see, this symbol is sort of like a greater love. And it's an energy of gold and pink with the rose that says, be open to a higher level of love for self and others. This is about reaching in to the universe for a love that is outside of our planet. This is kind of extending our reach and our energy, saying that we want more love. And what I mean by this is not an earthly love. This is almost like an angelic or a heavenly love, or a love that comes in from higher self, the angelic realms. It's a love that's already been perceived and connected with outside of our planet and even outside of our galaxy. So this is really about anchoring this higher ascension love here on Earth. So I hope this has helped. For those that want to join us over on Spiritual Events Directory on Facebook, I'm about to answer live questions. So please jump on over if you're on Instagram, and I'll see you there. And I'm just finishing this video off. Oh. Okay, so let's get into answering some questions. The first thing that I'll do is let's get some paper happening, and I will take some names. Oh, hey, Katie. Let's put you on the list. I know you will have been working hard today. So let's have a look for you. Sana, the conjunction of the 21st, the star in the west, three wise men, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, the birth of the star of Bethlehem, the birth of the new age in 0 degree of Aquarius. How exciting. Such an amazing time, isn't it? All right, I'm just going to write Justine, J-U-S, that is. Justine James, that was. And we'll do, Beatrice Friedman or Fieldman from New Jersey. Let's pick a card from you. And when I just saw stars, I just saw golden stars when I just mentioned your name, Beatrice. Okay, so we have Callie Beatty. Would love a message about health if you feel drawn. Sure. Okay, so we'll start with these ones. All right, so Katie, let's pick a card for you first. All right, so the image that I'm seeing with you, Katie, it's like they want to just like pick 5 cards or so. So we'll get this one and we'll do this one. So they're saying this should sort of like sum up a few different cards. So for those that are watching, this one is for Katie. So the image that they keep showing me, Katie, and I'm not sure if you guys can see, there we go. So the image that I keep getting shown is, I keep seeing a blue body of water. It feels like a swimming pool to me. And I'm seeing it's like laying back, looking at the roof. And I just feel so ultimately relaxed. And I'm seeing like a lot of yellow there as well. They're talking about learning to reach a new state of relaxation. And they're talking about this being important, and it will kind of like, just like a river will like lead into other different bodies of water and turn into like little creeks and things like that. They're just saying when you learn to reach a new state of relaxation, this will also like help permeate different other areas of life. The other thing that I did see, and I will probably mention this more to you in private, I feel there's other opportunities coming up for you at the moment. So we won't say too much more about that. Please send me a text after. And oh my God, we just talked about water. So we have this card here. This is the Queen of Cups. This is about trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. I did say blue, water, and I did say gold. So this is what we're talking about. I'm just going to turn off my other internet on there. Hopefully that'll make it stronger. But as you can see, this is the Queen of Cups. This is about you nurturing yourself. It's about going within. It's about having reflection. To me, this is speaking about using your intuition, using your heart, and taking stock on what really matters to you. I also hear the word time as I look into this as well. So I hope that that helps. Let's look into this other card. I'm hearing them say the word knowledge, and I'm seeing like a lot more gold come in with this. And for some reason, they're going like this. Just wondering. I know there's heart acupuncture points around here. There's also lung acupuncture points that move near here as well. So whether it's about like, breathing out with like your heart and chest and kind of like letting the weight of the world drop off your shoulders. Look at this, we've got the Priestess. So we did say the word knowledge as well before this. So these two cards together are very high female energy, very, very feminine cards. They are talking to us about, I guess, this one to me is speaking about like extending up and like reaching out for that higher guidance of the higher self. This is about manifestation. It's about taking it to the next level. But in order to do so, we need to go within and trust. So yeah, there's definitely things to manifest more on a physical level. So interesting cards. I hope that helps, gorgeous. So Justine James, Jusdine, I think I spell your name. I wrote that down before. Oh, and we've got Xavier as well. You're under a different name tonight, I see, from the I Am Center. And oh, that's so funny you saying about like Daniel and a new job, please. I actually did, I saw his photo the other day and there was something coming up to do with work. So let's have a look into that. All right, so Justine, let's pick a card for you. And I'm just going to scroll here. All right. Oh, and Darren James is saying you need a reading as well. So we're doing Justine's right now. I hope I'm saying your name right. Okay. Okay, we've got 2 cards for you. This is interesting. So the energies that I'm picking up for you are what I would call night and day, dark and light, law of opposites is sort of the energy I'm getting. It feels to me, whether there's something that feels like it's being pulled to and fro, or sort of like feeling one way, then no, I can feel this way. What Spirit is telling me is like to quieten everything and sort of go within. It just feels almost like this energy of being pulled in different directions and different people asking different things of you, or feeling like you were going one way and then it's like needing to go another way. So let's have a look at what we've got. It's almost like the sun and the moon. Yeah, blue and then yellow. It's sort of like different colors I'm seeing. So let's just flip these. Okay, so what I'm seeing with this is we have this sort of like 2 different sides of things happening. So this is a 4 of Cups. So sometimes this will represent on an intuitional level or a heart level. It might have been something was going one way and then all of a sudden it's like halted or stopped. Or we thought we had something like stability wise, but it didn't really get to kind of like that vision that we hoped and felt that it would. So we have a little bit of this. Spirit has been trying to like flow energy into things, but it's almost like something is halted for now. The energy that I also see is kind of like that Cancerian energy. You're a very nurturing person. Whether you are flowing your nurturing energy and love into something that perhaps didn't like respond back as much as what it could, whether there was something that's sort of unmatched. The other thing that we have in this too is we have more Cancerian energy. So Cancer for me is kind of like that intuitional, feminine, nurturing type energy. Here we see the Chariot. We see on the chest of this beautiful armor is the wounding. There's bullet wounds that are on here. So this person's got a guard up, or they've needed to protect themselves in one way. They are under some kind of like temple. There is like space that they're holding, but they're very guarded at the moment, as we can see with this. Just seeing if there's anything else that we need to mention. Okay, I feel that Spirit is giving us a window in time. And what I mean by this is it feels like something happening, but I'm not sort of seeing the energy come up in the cards as kind of like shifting out of it just yet. So whether there's more to work through, and this card was standing out just as I was shuffling. So we have what is the 8 of Cups. So for me, this is kind of like about whether it's like walking away from a situation, or sort of like giving it the recognition that's needed to be like, you know what, I thought I was going one direction, or like I had sort of like my cup filling up in one way. There's also the sun and moon kind of eclipse. So whether there has been kind of like a change, or looking deeper into the emotion, looking at things from a conscious level, the sun into the subconscious moon energy. But you can see this person's turned their back on the cups and they're going for a journey into the mountains. To me, this almost looks like the Hermit card. So this is about going within at the moment to find that resource, is the word they're giving us, that energy to be able to go fill your cups up again, to be able to love again. And I feel that self-love is what's most important here in this situation. So I hope that that helps, Justine. All right. So, Beatrice, we were picking a card for you. So, Beatrice Friedman. For those that are just joining, I am losing my voice from having an amazing weekend away. Lots of fun. So Beatrice, let's see what we need to know for you right now. Oh, this one's jumping out, and this one. Now, something is taking me back to like a reminiscence around childhood. So what I'm feeling with this is it's almost like getting taken back. I'm seeing the image of like Play-Doh, and for some reason like taffy. You know, like when you go to a fair or you go to a show, like a carnival type show, and there's like saltwater taffy. I'm not sure. I think you might have been saying you were in New Jersey, perhaps. So whether you have like a saltwater taffy or something over there, but it's almost like spirit. And it's funny, I'm just unconsciously like twirling my hair, which I don't really do. There's some kind of like energy around like reflection on past and becoming childlike is the energy that they're giving me. Hi, Bailey. Yeah, so let's have a look with you, Beatrice. Yeah, there's some kind of like reflection, and I'm hearing from spirit the Cyndi Lauper song Time After Time. So I'm not sure if that song meant something to you and saltwater taffy, but yeah, I'm being shown these energies and reflection on the past. They're talking about is like looking at the blueprint from the past so that you can rearrange a more positive and powerful blueprint for the future. Oh, this is cool. This is the Queen of Swords. So the mask is off. She's powerful, but she's vulnerable. She's, you know, these clouds are clear. Even though they're white, the energy, the sky is blue. The sky is clear. She has this liberation energy with her. She's like, just, it's like, I'm done with the mask. Is kind of like the energy that we have in this. The sword is sort of like being bent to the side. And you can see this like liberation happening, almost like a Statue of Liberty at the top that's standing with her. So it's like spirit is kind of like standing in alignment for this liberation moment to happen. But I feel like it's a liberation, it's a freeing of truth and things also connected to do with childhood stuff. The other energy that we have is the card of the Hermit. So whether you've been working on this, or you've been like reflecting on these childhood things and you've sort of like gone in the cave. I feel that this is after you've been in the cave, you're bringing the light, and you can see that you have the sun in this lantern. It's not just any other light. So really, really powerful. There's a fertility energy in this. When you realize and you step into your power and you start to form this new blueprint, it's like you don't even need a map, is what Spirit's saying with this. It's like the Hermit knows the way because it's his soul that is like lighting and shining that light on the path is what I'm feeling with this. Let's just ask for a confirmation out of the Syrian Star Card deck, which is available on my website. We'll flip this one straight away. Channel. So, getting into alignment with your higher self. Hello from New Zealand, Sharon. But yeah, getting into alignment with higher self. This is about you trusting your innate and inner wisdom. So it says, I'm open to receive divine guidance and wisdom. I channel this creative energy through my passion and calling. So I hope that that helps. So Kelly Beatty, let's have a look. You wanted to ask around health. And we will be taking some more names in a minute. All right, so Kelly, what do we need to know about Kelly? We need to know. All right, so I heard Spirit say when we picked the first card, struggles, and then with the second card, they said the word advancement. So we are looking into health side of things. The other thing that I saw with the health side of things is a yellow energy coming in through the center of the body. So whether something is affecting that central part of your body, to me, central part of the body around here, I go to sort of like head, central nervous system, also takes me into like respiratory system, digestion. So whether there might be something that appears to be like a multifaceted health issue, but really it could be stemming from this one thing. Hey Phil, hey Cassidy. Yeah, so what I'm seeing is there's something in that central part of the body to do with health, but I feel that it's going out and it's infiltrating other systems. So whether this is like along the central nervous system, or whether it's something that's sort of like presenting as an autoimmune type thing, but what I'm seeing is it's like we want to dig, we want to get to like the below the surface, because what I'm sort of seeing is like this is coming off as like a secondary kind of like health thing, this is coming off, and then there's like a complication from that other thing, and it leads to kind of like generally feeling unwell. Let's see what this is. Yeah, so you can see the health side of things with this. So oh, Bella's asking if I'm a medium. So I do some mediumship work. I don't call myself a medium though. It's mainly if the spirit's very strong. Sometimes they'll come through, but I specialize more in spirit guides and in soul missions and soul readings and ETs and other paranormal side of things. So what we've got for Kelly Beatrice, we have this card here. So this is 5 of Cups. This sort of like represents sometimes like health issues for me. We can see there's sort of like a phlegmatic action here in the center of the card with this almost like phlegm or mucus that needs to come up. You can see that it's affecting the central part of the energy of the card. We have the kidneys not filtering in this case. The other thing sometimes is, and this is Mars and Scorpio energy too. So with this, sometimes there can be a little bit of like stubbornness. The other thing we have with the kidneys is, you know, it's our filter. It's kind of like the way that we experience and live in the world, not just emotionally, but physically. It can also represent that perhaps there's something that our body's system is not filtering properly. So looking into like kidneys and things too. Kidneys also, you know, if we want to kind of like balance them, we need to look more into like working with love energy. Because kidneys in Chinese medicine sometimes will relate to fear. So opposite of fear is love. And when we get to the card to do with like advancement, oh, but this is about trusting your gut and trusting your intuition to create more stability. So whether you're sort of like at this plateau or it's like halfway there, because it's a 5. Also we have emotional toxicity to do with needing to clear some emotions. So this green energy as well. Let's see, it's to do with advancement. So what I'm actually seeing is kind of like going into more of like a spirit energy. I'm seeing about like raising the paradigm, would be one way of saying it, or like raising that plateau or raising your explanation. Oh, thank you, Xavier, sending stars. It's so sweet of you. Oh my God, look at this. So remember I said we're halfway there with this, and we had a 5 of Cups. 10 of Cups. So it feels like that there is kind of like an understanding or kind of like a completion of figuring out some more with the health side of things. I know that this is a general reading. I do offer the one-on-one readings. There is still a Mars energy with this. Keep on the path, keep digging that self-discovery. You need to really like trust in yourself too, and trust in your own intuition. Because with this orange sort of color, it speaks to me as a color of like confidence. It speaks to me as a color of like magnetic kind of like radiation in a positive way. So I hope that that helps. And also to me, that last card, the 10 of Cups, spoke as kind of like a central energy as well. Oh, so Bella is asking to do with the mediumship, I think it was. Sorry, I meant, can they come through even though you don't ask them to? Yes, they definitely can. It really just depends on the strength of the spirit. Sometimes it's spirits that were kind of like strong personalities, or, you know, kind of like comedic, or had like big kind of hearted energy. They're more the ones that tend to come through. So let's have a look for Xavier, and you're wanting to ask about a job around Daniel, which I was sort of seeing when I saw his photo the other day. I'm like, oh, this is coming up. There's 2 cards in this deck that are coming out, so I've already seen them, but they're just telling me to pick these. We've got Queen of Wands, which is kind of like on a spiritual level, really trusting in that intuition, trusting in kind of like that Leo how would we say, like magnetic sort of like energy. It's like trusting that when you step into something, it's like stepping in with all of your power, all of your energy. So you can see there's a cat of protection there too. There's very much like Leo sun goddess energy with this. And there is this spiritual energy as well that we see on top of the wand. So the pineal gland, so it's really like trusting that psychic vision. The other thing that we got with Daniel is this, which I call the choose your own adventure card. So this to me doesn't feel like there's a right or wrong way to do things. This is actually speaking to me about him standing in his power. No matter which way things go, it's to use it as an opportunity or a lesson to stand in power. So I feel like that's quite straightforward. We will pick another card for him. We have the ascension energy. So whether this is about like also focusing on ascension and things as well. Oh, Kelly's also saying thank you. Those cards definitely resonate with me. You're so welcome. I hope that that helps. So for Daniel, it's about ascension. It says we already exist on all levels. Keep moving towards energy and things that raise your vibration and take you higher. So I feel like this is just really about trusting. It's actually more about working on confidence is what I sort of see as that like key or the cornerstone in relation to this. For some of us, we would think it's more like, oh, we need to like, you know, go for the job or whatever. But this feels to me like an issue around kind of like stepping it up on confidence and raising your vibration, raising this ascension energy. So I hope that helps. All right, so I'm going to take some other names down. I saw Phil, you wanted a card, so let's do one for you. And Angie Marie Colvaccio, I'm so sorry, Angie Marie, but let's pick a card for you. Yana Yang. Oh, you're so welcome, Zevia. I hope that helps. And good luck for a new job as well. So Russell. And we've got Lisa Paul. Okay, let's see if we can get some answers. All right, so Phil, let's pick a card for you. Oops, did you see that, Phil? So we just had the Choose Your Own Adventure card come out twice. We had it for the last person before. Yeah, this is interesting. All right, Phil, so this sort of speaks to me as though you're on a path and there might be a fork in the road. It might be like, all right, I can choose path A or I can choose path B. It doesn't actually feel like one path is right or wrong. It feels like there's different experiences. One path will enhance communication and things, but the other path will enhance confidence. But you can learn both lessons on each path. They'll just come at different times, is what I'm being shown to do with you. The path that I'm seeing is sort of like that middle pillar or that middle connection. I'm seeing a path connected to do with nature. I'm also seeing nature spirits around you at the moment too, so really important to get out into nature. I'm seeing kind of like fairy type energy trying to communicate with you, so perhaps have your camera out around twilight, or perhaps like using your flash when you're out in nature, because I do feel that like there's orbs and kind of like nature elementals trying to communicate with you at the moment, but I feel to sort of like hold in there to do with like work and things is what they're showing me. This is almost like a pause type phase, or like really enjoying the spontaneity of life at the moment. And what they mean by that is, you know, being able to kind of like dictate what you do at what time, being able to kind of like enjoy that energy of, you know what, today I'm going to go path A and then tomorrow I'm going to go path B. So I'm seeing this energy come up to do with that. So I hope that helps. Let's pick a card out of my other deck, the Syrian Star card deck, Intuition. So this goes hand in hand with that pathway card that we just chose. So it says, access the answers of your heart. Let your intuition guide you to make the best choice. So I feel that Spirit is really talking about taking the pressure off yourself around choice. I feel that like the right path will reveal itself. So it's really to take the stress. They're giving me the word quantify. So stop trying to quantify you know, different answers and things like that, and really kind of like just tap into the excitement of the journey. And they're showing me, Spirit is quite comical, they're showing me like a Lord of the Rings adventure. So whether this is like the Hobbit adventure, because they're showing me like little hobbits and they're like on this path to like go on a quest, but it's like what they actually love is like being together on the path. So they're showing me this kind of energy. It's really, really cute. I hope that helps. So Angie Marie, let's pick a card for you. Okay, so Angie Marie, what energies are coming up as I shuffle this is I feel kind of like fatigued. And what I mean by that is I feel like a certain amount of tiredness, whether this has been a massive year for you, but what I'm actually feeling is tiredness, not just on an emotional level, it's tiredness on a physical level too. So whether there's like different nutrients or different things that you might need, or maybe like up your minerals, or whether there's some kind of like chronic fatigue type thing, or just like extreme tiredness at the moment. And you're welcome, Phil. Or whether there's some kind of like extreme tiredness going for you at the moment, Angie. I'm going to flip these cards. They are showing me blue, which represents like the color of healing. I am seeing the letter B as well. Sometimes this can also be Spirit's way of talking about like look into B vitamins. As I've said on other shows, I'm not a doctor. Oh, Bella, we're just taking names. Spirit's just guiding me to different ones. So hopefully I get enough time. Let's add you to the list. So we've got Bella Crush. So let's flip these cards for Angie Marie. So we were talking about like feeling fatigued and different things. There's something, we've got the card of Valor, and we've got this spiritual, beautiful purple background with these wands coming into alignment. But you need to take care of yourself first. I feel like this is you taking care of everyone else. So this is really about kind of like pulling back, having that, because it's the spiritual card being wands as well. Sometimes this is about that faith in the unseen. It's almost like taking a leadership directive, but to do with yourself. So it's really to kind of like shut out the noise and different things and go within, have that connection from spirit to higher self. There's Mars energy in this too. So Mars combined with Leo, sometimes there's that energy of like go, 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 like leadership. You know, this kind of energy. Oh, thank you, Cassidy. That's so sweet of you. So yeah, I feel that this is about, they're saying the words like rest and restoration. We've also got this 10 of Cups, the satiety too. So it could mean that that's kind of like coming to a completion soon, or like feeling kind of like a little bit more fulfilled, or that things are kind of like lining up. But yeah, there is kind of like this tiredness or fatigue. So whether it's been kind of like a taxing year. Let's pick a card from this other deck over here to do with when we look into health stuff. Yeah, you can sort of see there's like that card. That's like the third time tonight we've had this card. There's like 78 cards in a deck, and we've had this a few times. So yeah, this is kind of like needing to turn your back for a little bit and focus on yourself. So looking at where you are flowing your energy and attention to. All right, so Yana Yang, or Jana. So you wanted to know about Russell, and will he reach out before the end of the year? Okay, so I'm just going to say the images that I'm seeing. So I'm being shown a boat, I'm being shown choppy waves. So to me, this represents the waves and kind of like the choppiness, and the boat having the buoyancy kind of go up and down represents, oh, okay. So we'll get to you, Bella. So what I'm seeing with this, Yana, is this energy, like to do with Russell. I feel like your energy and attention is focused on like him, and it's almost like you're putting that energy out. But in putting the energy out, it's like you're riding kind of like on this, oh, thank you, Karen, that's so sweet. But it's like riding the energy of the waves, but the waves are being caused by putting out the emotion and putting out that kind of like stormy weather of like wanting him to contact you. Whereas when I see you focus on yourself and come back to your own heart and your own energy, the waves stop. And then all of a sudden the boat's like, where did those waves go? It's like he starts to actually pay attention and like listen in and go, hold on a minute, I'm not getting that energy that I was getting from Yana anymore. So thank you, Yana. So yeah, just looking into and even thinking about it as a little experiment. When I stop putting energy out to him, does he come back in? Because that's sort of like what I'm seeing. It's almost like he's feeding off the energy in a way. So it's like you give and then he takes. But it's kind of like he might then sort of like poke at you or like message or whatever, or you might get like thoughts of him when you go quiet. So it's almost like game playing a little bit. I'll just flip this card. We have the Four of Cups, which is kind of like that luxury energy. It's interesting. It fluctuates between stagnation and kind of like a stability. It's like it's stable, then it's not stable. And we have this choppiness in the waves here as well. So creating that stability first within yourself and getting and building yourself up to the point of not even being bothered about like his energy, and see how you feel. And then also notice if there is patterns. That's what Spirit is kept telling me to focus on, is notice the patterns. So we have this, you need to be the Queen of Swords. So thinking about your energy as a queen, the sword represents kind of like that that intellectual energy, that thought form. So this is really guarding your thoughts and being a queen of your thoughts. So, you know, would a queen sort of like call for someone to come back into them? Or would a queen sit there kind of like regally and know that she's like has value and has worth and that she deserves like all of the world? And that's sort of the energy that I get with this, is Spirit is saying to focus on this beautiful energy rather than that energy of the boat and the choppy water. So I hope that helps. That feels very clear from Spirit. So Lisa Paul, let's pick a card for you. Okay, so for you, Lisa, we've just got the one card the same tonight out of that deck, and we'll get one out of this deck. What I'm actually seeing is, I'm hearing them say the word affirmation. So whether you've been doing affirmations, you're so welcome, Yana. So what I'm seeing with you, Lisa, is they're showing me it's like central focus and kind of like affirmations and different things. They're saying the word focus at the moment too. I feel like it's really kind of like pinpointing and focusing on your own bubble right now. But I'm also seeing you reach out and help family and connect with them. But they're talking about like preserving your energy, especially leading up to December 21st, to this kind of like ascension. They're saying the word ascension gateway in relation to you. So let's flip this card. This is cool. So this might be why they're talking about preserving energy and things, because we have the Knight of Wands. And as you can see, he wants to charge full steam ahead. So this is like getting ready to act on an idea, remembering that Wands is spiritual and it's about taking action. So like feeling that fire and feeling that full speed ahead charge. Now in my other deck of cards, the Knight of Wands doesn't really have the fire in this. The fire to me is kind of like feel the fear and kind of like effort anyway. So there is kind of like that dark night of the soul, that having to, you know, have that test of walking over the hot coals. So I do feel this a little bit, and sort of like feeling that horse kind of like rear up on its back feet but still moves forward. So whether there might be something that you're feeling like unsure about, but it's like being on that precipice of like getting ready to kind of charge ahead. They're also talking about like meditation. I don't know if you've had like anxiety coming up, or whether it's feeling that your attention is so focused on everyone else that you're sort of like feeling anxious for other people. But they're really showing me this is kind of like about you putting that attention and putting that energy on yourself right now. And we have the Ascension card come up again. So we had this come up for someone before. So this is in relation to what I was talking about to do with December 21st. So I hope this helps, Lisa. The other thing that I am seeing is just energies like around kids and family. I'm just pulling this out. So we have the Four of Pentacles in this as well. So this is like on a physical level, whether there's like something happening with family and kind of like feeling like you're not sort of sure like what's happening and wanting like things to be kind of like stable and steady for kids and everything. I'm seeing this come up to do with family. So I hope that helps. And let's do one for Bella Crush. Okay, so we've got a few cards that are falling out. Went to pick another one, and then Spirit's thrown two at me. So I've got two that I've picked and two that Spirit has thrown at me. So the ones that Spirit has thrown, actually we'll talk about the ones I picked first. So what I'm sort of seeing is like almost like an inner subconscious thought. So what I mean by that, oh, thank you, Carrie, that's so sweet. Like, you're welcome, Auntie Marie. You're just saying that thank you so much, makes a lot of sense. For those that are wanting one-on-one readings, I do have the discount code alchemy when you enter the website to pick a reading time. I'm pretty much booked out for the rest of December. There's maybe one or two left. Let me see. So yeah, we're seeing something to do with like Scorpio energy. We're seeing something around the moon. I'm seeing something around water. This is sort of like looking at the inner reflection, the inner emotions, looking at like your inner sensitivities. You're so welcome, Lisa. I'm so glad that it's helpful, and you said very spot on. That makes me so happy to hear. So yeah, Bella, what I'm sort of seeing is getting into the depths and trying to really like peel back the layers and understanding different deep emotions that might be going on for you right now. So let's flip this card. Oh wow, we have the same energy again. So we have the Knight of Wands coming up. So this is kind of like really about you kind of like, they're saying the words like forging the fire. Whether you're like forging something out of like lessons of the past, or you're wanting to kind of like burn ahead, but I keep seeing there's something to do with the past in the background. It's like dealing with the past before moving on to the future. Because then you're going to pull in a much more strong, powerful energy. We're going to get it stuck into the card of virtue. So you'll attract from a much higher leadership energy as well. So with this one, it's a Three of Wands, which is kind of like, it's like initial achievement or growth, but on a spiritual level. So I feel that when you focus on that and you kind of like clean up that energy of the past, I feel that Spirit is throwing these ones at us, which is the card of lust. And you can kind of see there's almost like, this represents sort of like an open container, and it represents what we flow our attention onto sometimes, can distract us at times. So we need to look at what is it that we're wanting to hold within our container, our energy. What is it that we're wanting to take out into the world, or different ideas and different things that we're wanting to give birth to and kind of like rise up and rise above. So we have this energy here. This is also about like other people distracting you, or like trying to live up to other people's ideals. This is about focusing on your higher self. This, I know that you were asking questions around spirit communication, things like that. So this could also represent entity stuff happening. So you can see that the face is on this lion. There's many faces on this. So this is kind of like about cleaning up the emotions, you know, getting some sage or getting some Palo Santo or other incense for clearing. That will also help to kind of clear up that, doing little affirmations of protection. The other thing that we have is the Prince of Cups. So with the Prince of Cups, this is sort of like, this card to me speaks of going between worlds. It also speaks to me about like you having a really strong sense of intuition. So maybe Spirit is communicating messages to you at the moment. So pay attention to like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. I also feel to kind of like, there's a protection in here. You can see there's a lotus pod. This to me also looks like what the shamans use in South America when they sing that song. I think it's Icarus. And it's like a shaking of the reeds, which is funny. I've got the shaking bracelets on. So they'll shake these leaves as a natural rattle, and it sounds just like this, and it forms kind of like a protection. So they sing songs of protection to guide you through a peaceful shamanic journey. This eagle as well, I hear the word knowledge connected to do with this, also because it is a cups card, and we have the eagle gliding over the water. So it's almost like feeling the emotions of it, but not having to dive deep into that depth of the soul. Because remember, they said at the start about the water and about kind of like reflecting on emotions and things. So This is perhaps you might be feeling these deep emotions, but you don't in reality need to go into that depth. It might be just sort of like visiting them, if that makes sense. Carrie, let's pick a quick card for you, Carrie Burgess. Just pop these cards back in. So I hope that helps, Bella. Okay, so what do we need to know for Carrie? Alright, so the first thing that I'm seeing tonight for you, Carrie, is that energy of the third eye. And I'm feeling this energy come in that's like this, and then it's staying at the third eye. So Spirit is actually showing me what looks to be kind of like a prayer position over the third eye. It's like this. And I'm also hearing them say the word mudra or mudra, which is kind of like, you know, our finger modes. So I feel that there's different finger modes that activate the pineal gland. Spirit is talking about wanting to kind of like activate and work with this pineal gland energy at the moment. So let's see what else we have. I'm seeing a butterfly come up. So butterflies to me are about transformation. So the caterpillar must go through a metamorphosis and kind of like a DNA debonding, almost like turn to goo experience in order to like reorganize and self on a cellular level to build a butterfly. So we can't go from a caterpillar into a butterfly state until we've broken it down. And I just realized you've actually put butterfly little symbols up. I didn't see them. So that's so interesting that you've got like a triple butterfly up there. So let's flip this card. Yeah, there's a card of worry. There's something around sort of like something slow moving that just, whether things didn't eventuate or didn't perhaps turn out into what you'd hope that they'd grow into, whether something sort of like felt like a little bit unstable on the physical level, because it's pentacles as well, which is sort of like, you know, on the earth. We do have like a little bit of Mercury energy, which is sometimes connected to like thoughts and different things. Spirit is asking you to kind of like scrub those thoughts clean and step more into like this spiritual perspective of things. So let's pick a card in relation to this. The card that they're taking us to is that. So this is really about a purging and purifying on a physical level. So letting go of what needs to be let go of. Again, we have another 5, but it's 5 of Cups. So Spirit is asking you to let go of something on a physical level as well as kind of like on an emotional heart level. What is it that we receive when we do this? Look at this, Knight of Wands again. This is also coming up for a lot of you watching tonight, because when we have the message come up over and over, sometimes this is also, you know, not just for the people that we're picking the cards for, it can be, you know, connected to do with a few of you might be going through similar. So Carrie's also saying, and strangely enough, I've had my third eye chakra designs on my fingernails right now. Wow, how about that? And you've got your beautiful butterflies again. So looking at what needs to be let go of on a heart level so that you can kind of like walk through that gateway into, you know, that brave new territory. Let's see what else. Is there anything else we need to know about like once you've let go? They're saying step over the threshold. So it might be also looking at like what it is that you need in order to take that jump over the threshold, because you are a princess of discs. You're here to turn the world on its head. You can see there's a yin yang, there's kind of like Aries type energy with this, or Ram energy. The trees are upside down. You're standing in your power. You're commanding things to manifest upon the earth, because at the base of her wand, where this golden kind of like sun energy is coming out of, there's an icosahedron. And in sacred geometry, an icosahedron is related to manifestation. So whatever is kind of like distracting you or keeping you held back in the past onto something that perhaps didn't grow or didn't reach its full potential, whether this is a person, place, or something, it's kind of holding your energy back. You're ready to step forward. You're ready to kind of like forge a new path or a new way, is what I'm seeing connected to do with this. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined us tonight. Thank you for listening to my croaky voice that is going. Please, if you would like to book a one-on-one reading with me, we do aura drawings in the reading. We also look into tarot. We also talk to your spirit guides. We have plenty of time for questions. You are able to also record for personal use in your session too, so that you can go back over, because it is a one-stop 1 hour chat, like non-stop, from start to finish, hence why I'm also losing my voice, but very enjoyable at the same time. So yeah, use the code word alchemy to book. It will knock $10 off your reading. I only have a couple of spots left for December. So looking forward to seeing you all next week, and thank you for joining us.